Today we're going to be talking about Vincent Van Gogh's artwork. Yes! If you want to follow my drawing on this video, you can. If not, you can just get inspired by it and do your own artwork. Let's do it?
Very well, folks. Now, before we start, you might have in mind that Vincent Van Gogh used to use some kinds of lines on his works, okay? I'm going to be teaching you these lines and we are going to use them for making our own artwork, okay? So first, those kinds of lines here, he used to paint like this with his paintbrush and paint. Those are the sideways. Say the name with me. Sideways. He used this line mostly for painting the sky and the water. Now those are the, say, swirls. Swirls. This is a kind of wave, can you see? He used these lines mostly for kinds of bushes and some trees and especially clouds. So say it again with me, swirls. Those are the curves. Those are the curves. Say the name with me, curves. He used to use the curves for bushes and trees. And the last one are the circles. Those are the circles. This is the easiest one, right? This shape you already know. He used these shapes for any circular pattern like the sun or the moon or whatever he wanted to be in a circle shape. Now let's try to do it together. We are not going to be using today paint, okay? We are going to use our crayons. Today I'm going to use oil pastels, but if you don't have, don't need to worry. You can use your own crayons, okay? If you want to do the drawing with me, great. If not, you can get inspired by it and do your own using the lines I have just taught you. So folks, today is going to be this landscape, okay? We're going to color this landscape. I will let this drawing available for you to print, but you don't need to, okay? You can copy or you can create your own landscape, your own drawing, all right? As soon as you color using the lines we have learned about. So I'm going to start by the floor here. And then the sky. Do you remember that he Vincent Van Gogh, he used to paint with sideways, all right? I have just shown you the lines on the other papers, and we are going to use sideways for coloring the floor and the sky and then the water. Okay, I'll let water for later because it's going to be the reflection of the trees and we are going to do the trees before. So let's start by the floor here. Alright, so on the floor here, I'm going to use sideways, and where I want to be lighter, I'm going to use ochre. Where I want to be darker, I'm going to use the ochre rouge, they say, or reddish brown, okay? It's a little darker. Then it's going to work like this. We're going to use sideways. This part here, this half circle here, is the area where it's touched by the sun. And here, it's going to be a little darker, okay? Let's start. So, using the sideways lines, I am going to fill this blank space here with ochre. And here and down, I'm going to use the reddish brown, okay? Because it's darker, the sun doesn't get so close to this part. And I want it to be dark, so I'm going to use another shade of brown. Only sideways. Realize that I'm not using the crayon like this. I'm making lines, okay? That's today's purpose, to make lines. All right, now let's go for the sky. Well, I want the area around the sun to be lighter than the area near the floor, okay? So what I'm going to do, by the floor line, by the horizontal line, I'm going to use closer lines this way. I'm going to make them darker by making them closer and by using a little more pressure on the material I'm using here, which are oil pastels, okay? I'm using oil pastels, but you can use regular crayons. I just don't suggest that by now you use paint because you're learning the technique, but if you want later to try this technique again using paint, you can. So, sideways. I made the darker line. I'm going to make some softer lines and with more space between them to make it look lighter, all right? Great. Now see that here is darker and here is lighter. Let me get more lines here for a better degradé effect. I can even get a darker blue for making more lines here next to the horizontal line, so it will look darker. Remember, sideways, okay? Great. Now, let's go for the sun and then the trees and the water. We have used sideways. Now, remember some of the lines Van Gogh used to paint with were circles. We are going to use circles for making the sun. So I'll start with the very light yellow, and I'm going to fill the space of the sun with circles until I fill the half of it. Then I'm going to get a little darker color and I will color around making circles. You see, I'm not using side lines anymore. Sideway lines. I'm using circles. And around it, for simulating the sun rays, I'm going to use orange. It's important to use orange because if you use yellow now, it's going to mix with the blue that's from the sky, and it will look green, and we don't have green on the sky in this kind of landscape. So it's going to be quite weird. So you better use whether orange or red if you want, okay? In case you're doing this landscape. And here it is. Look at the sun. How beautiful. Now we're going to make the trees. For the trees, I'm going to use 3 shades of green. So light green, medium, and dark or deep green. We have used sideway lines and circles. Now we're going to use the curves. So I'm going to start by the big one for you to see how to make the curves, okay? Curves are like this. Then I can make more to fill the space. So fill the blank space. Why am I using light green on this side of my tree? Because it's the side closer to the sun rays, okay? The other side is a little far from the sun rays. It's to the other side. So we are going to use darker green because this way we can show that the part with the light green has more light over it than the other. Make your curves, 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 curves. See? Now, with medium green, I'm going to fill the half part of my trees like this. The same, making the curves. It's important that you fill the blank space the most you can. And try to make a dégradé to show a soft transition between the colors, okay? And the last color is going to be the deep green or dark green, all right? And we are going to use on this side that's not being touched by the sun. Curve, 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 curve. The more you practice, the best you get. If you are doing this now and if you find it hard to make, don't worry, it is hard for everyone. You can always try again. And if you try as many times as you can try, you are gonna get better. The first drawing you make is not going to be good enough. You can look at this and say, oh, it's not the way I want it to be. And the secret is practice, 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 practice. Only this. Good, you see? Now our trees are colored and they have light over them. Remember that water is just like a mirror. So that's what we're going to do. So on the parts of the water where they reflect the trees and the sky, we're going to use those colors, okay? I'm going to start by the reflection of the trees. So here is the green, the light green reflection, small sideways, short sideways like this, okay? The light green reflection, medium green reflection, and dark green reflection here. Realize that I'm not putting lots of pressure on my material here. I'm just filling the blank space with color in a very soft way. Now, in these spaces where the sky is reflected, we are going to make more sideways, but in the color of the sky, which is blue. In this case here, right? It's blue because the sky is blue, so reflection. Here as well. Great. You can use a darker blue to make this part on the board here of the water, the part where the water touches the floor. You can use darker blue. And you can also make some lines here, sideways lines, in a darker blue to show a difference between the top part from the down part, okay? We want to make some water effect here, reflection effect. We are almost finished, and we are going to finish now by the cloud using two colors. I'm going to be using beige or peach. For me, this color is peach, okay? I don't call this skin color because skin colors, we have many, right? All those are skin colors. So if somebody calls this skin color, show the other colors for this person, because this is not the only skin color we have, okay? I call this color peach. Some other people call other names, but for me it's peach. Great? I'm going to use peach and light gray. Why? Peach because I want to show the reflection of the sun on the top of my cloud and a bottom part of it. And gray because I want to fill the median space here and the other side of my cloud that's further from the sky, the sun. All right? So we have used many kinds of lines. We have used circles, sideways, and the curves. Now we're going to use the swirls. So the swirls, I like this. You make a spiral and you come back. Realize that the effect is a little different from the circle effect. Because I'm not only using circles, I'm using a spiral shape, okay? Those are the swirls. And now I'm going to use gray from here, where it's darker, to the other side where it's lighter. And that's it. Well, and this is our drawing. We made it together. Remember, if you want to do another kind of drawing, no problem. as soon as you use our lines, okay? The lines we've learned today. Sideways lines, circle lines, curves, and strolls. Did you like this activity?